G'day everyone, welcome to this week's Life on the Hulls, and we're about 28 days out from launch, and although the boat is actually on the water, I'm here cleaning up our site. Now when you build a boat, you don't just have to get the boat on the water, you've still got to deal with all of your crap that you've accumulated, and that is all of these internal molds. I never ever got to cutting them up, and a couple of weeks ago I loaded up a skip, a 15 cubic meter skip of all of the deck mold that I hadn't gotten rid of, and that was murder in some of the summer heat that we had. Luckily we've had a bit of cooler temperatures over the last couple of days, but I've been here cutting them up. Now the key to cutting them up is you cut them into small enough pieces that you maximize the space in the skip. The removal of the molds is around about 6,000 Australian dollars, so probably about what's that, 4,000 US dollars just to get rid of the mold, and that's basically the tipping fee. That doesn't include my labor to cut them up. Could have got an excavator in and smashed them up, but that would have cost a lot as well. So I'm pretty intent on cutting them up. It is the shittiest job you can imagine, but anyway, we're getting there, and as you can see, I'm pretty much got 3 of the 10 molds cut up, and the last real hard one is this guy here, this double bathroom. That's our heads mold, and then I've got the big flybridge mold and a couple of robe molds, and then obviously we're down to the targas, and then I'll be able to get rid of everything. So building a boat, why would you do it? I mean, when it comes down to this, basically all of this extra crap that I've had to deal with has just been you know, logistically difficult and very, very hard on my body. And at 3 a.m. this morning I woke up and thought I'm going to go and spend the day cutting up, and I've spent about 4 hours here, and that was all I could do. Seriously, just massive effort with a grinder. Plenty going on in this episode. I've got lots of detail work going on, including texturing in the saloon and just getting the boat ready for launch. Well, it's a big morning, Sunday morning. I'm trying to do all this noise while there's no one around. The mechanics across the road, I mean, even though they're as noisy as buggery, it really does impact on them when I'm using grinders and power tools all the time, especially when I've got vacuum and dust extraction going all day long. I've sanded out the entire floors here. All the floors are finished. And you'll notice down here, I've actually put a blue masking line around about 10 centimeters up from the floor. That is now going to be hand sanded just with some 80 good sandpaper. Just give it a bit of a scuff up, and then I'm going to apply that texture all the way around, and essentially it's a kick section, and the good thing is it's obviously hard wearing. And then Janet's going to come in tomorrow, and she's actually going to wet sand all of the rest of the modules, and she'll get these all wet sanded down, and then we'll be able to polish them up, and that'll sort of call a completion to the fiberglassing in this room itself, and then we'll move into the other room. But at the end of the day, we're getting some real progress here, and this is the nice part at the end before we can put down the flooring. So I'll get in and sand all this now by hand, just scuff it up, get my textured roller onto this part of the freezer area here. I'm going to actually put the textured roller all the way around here as well, where the modules are, and potentially down there at the engine room as well. And just areas wherever you're likely to kick that is white is going to look dirty, so I may as well do it with the texture. And obviously when we're in and out of the engine room, that could be prone to wear too. Get that done, and then once all that's sanded, I'll get in and do this, the modules, and around the galley and around the fridge cabinet, and then I'll work on the other side tomorrow. I've always got too much flow coat ready when I need to do a job, but I should have enough to do basically the entire boat with this texturing here. I've got another 5 cups full there, and I've just done under the fridge here, and it's just a nice little stippled finish. That means that I'll never have to paint it or repair it or try to polish that out again. I'll just give it a quick buff with some polishing compound, and that'll be it. And hopefully that'll never ever need repairing again. Now I'm ready to do right along the dinette module here. This is quite a long one, but it happens pretty quickly. You paint it on with a brush, put heaps of material on, and then just roll it, and basically the textured roller does all the work for you. So we'll get onto this one now. Stuff is to work with it in sort of 3-foot sections, so you just put heaps of flow coat on, and obviously this is wax and styrene because we want it to set, and brush a little coat on. And you're sort of waiting for a little bit of tack, to be honest. Ideally you want it to tack. Get this, put a heap of material on it, and then these are just simple mini roller textures and roll it on, but I find I need to go back and stipple it. Once you get it on there, it helps to go back and stipple it, and then I'll come back in about 5 minutes and it starts to gel and we can get an even more pronounced texture, but it really does work a treat, and it stops you having to have that perfect transition line between the floor and the module. We're going to call that complete, and then in a couple of days Janet can come in and just hand polish the rest of it, hand wet sand the whole thing down with a bit of 1200 grit, and basically we'll buff it together to make sure that we consolidate. The So the nice thing now is tomorrow Janet can come in and wet sand the rest of the module. It's not going to take that long to get that whole module cleaned up now, and we can basically ensure that we get the whole thing wet sanded down with the exception of the texture, and then we'll just buff the whole thing with some polishing compound, and it'll stay sealed for pretty much forever now that it's inside. But yeah, that's absolutely beautiful. I'll pull the masking tape off and we'll leave it for the day, and I'm onto the galley already. Got the galley started under here. It's a bit hard to see because it's pretty subtle, but at least it's getting done. And under the fridge over here is already done as well. So pretty much that's the saloon done in about 3 hours. One of my greatest fears is being pooped by a large green wave over the back of our cockpit. The walk-through transom on our boat will make it generally susceptible to this, so I have to install some scupper drains. I've actually started with 2 100mm scupper drains to actually start this process. I have 2 smaller ones further up in the cockpit up near the doors, but for now I need to inset a couple of these drains. They're 316 stainless drains with a removable grate, so that I can actually remove that and clean it out should it ever need cleaning. But there's a lot of work to be done to get this in place. Probably the most important part of putting these drains in is to make sure that I core wherever there's exposed foam. This is something that invariably doesn't get done on a lot of things that I see. If we were to get any water in here, and obviously water's going to pour through here from underneath and from above, and if it gets in there it will delaminate the hull and the deck, and also the foam. So we don't want that to happen, so we basically core it out to about 2 centimeters and then fill it with epoxy and then re-core it with the hole saw, and that'll make sure that we end up with a good sealed through hole. A lot of boat building is making sure you got access into areas to get nuts and bolts and backing discs and all these other things done. So you've got to think years ahead often when you build something, and I've actually done that in this case. I have the footrest of the helm actually has nuts and bolts in behind the fridge cabinet here. Now, ideally I'd be able to remove the fridge out to get to all the nuts and bolts up behind there. I've got 3 or 4 nuts and bolts that need to be done, plus wiring. What I've chosen to do is mount a fire extinguisher cabinet right here in a very important place just right in the inside of the door, so it's easily accessible from outside. I've actually got another one outside, but I intend to have about 3 fire extinguishers on the boat, plus a couple in the engine rooms. But I'm going to mount one of these right here, and that way I'll be able to access the supporting brackets for this. very important. I put nuts and bolts on this footrest. I don't want to rely on those self-tappers that are just holding that in place. So I'll cut this guy out now, just to make sure that I've got plenty of access in behind there, and plus all the wiring that has to come through underneath here. And I've actually got wiring, conduits and potentially fuel transfer lines running in behind this kickboard here. So there's a real need for access inside this cabinet, and basically I'm also going to have a light switch here. This will be the light switch that'll go here, and I may even put in something in this end as well, which will give us even more storage, because that's a void in there as well. But yeah, for first things first, I'll get it cut out, whack this guy in, and that'll be a big job done. That's now fitted, and in behind it, before I put it in, I've actually put two large 100mm hole saw holes and joined them together and made a straight access so I can get my hand right in underneath the floor of the fridge. That was pretty critical because I need to be able to get my water lines and fuel lines up through here, and I've just got a delivery by the look of it, and this is going to be a big one. A very exciting delivery. This is actually our anchor chain, sanitation hose and some other bits and pieces from one of our suppliers, and there's 200 kilos of 10mm short link chain in here. That'll give me around about 80 to 90 meters of chain, and then I'll probably have another 50 or 100 meters of road in the windlass hatch, obviously in the anchor locker. And basically, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to get this down to the wharf to load onto the boat, but anyway, we've got it here now. I've got it on a pallet jack. Hopefully we can just load it into the back of my pickup truck or utility and take it down and unload it down there at the wharf. I don't want it on the boat when we're transporting it. Righto, beautiful. Righto, so we've got our 100 meters of short link 10mm chain, and I'm pretty happy to have that, because basically I just need to join it to join these two together, and I might cut off a little bit of it. Don't think I need 100, I might need 80 meters, and then some road as a backup. But anyway, we'll go with that. Summer is definitely on its way. It's about 25 degrees today, and Janet and I are making a mess again. We've just finished the main support, so all of that is now permanent, which is really nice. And now we're working on the pulpits. You'd think putting these things on would be a 10-minute job. It's not. It's a 2-hour job, because you've got to seal it, drill it, make sure your base plates fit. Then you've got to get crap all over you, and then you've got to clean up. And it's just a massive job. So I've got the area prepared down here, and there's base plates under here, but I've also got some stainless ones that I might use. And then you've got to feed a draw wire through the actual pulpit for the navigation light. So there's been a bit going on here. And because we reused the old pulpits that we scored off the other boat, I had to re-pull a draw wire all the way through that. Sadly, I was going to have the wiring for the nav lights come up from the bow, and then I wouldn't have had an exposed wire in the head, but it looks like I can't do that because of the way the thing was welded up, and I wish I'd thought of it before PK welded the end of it up, but I can't do anything about it now, so there's no point in worrying about it. I'll just have a little conduit. But we've got all our gear here. it's a major event. Everything's a major event. I mean, look at it. The amount of stainless we are putting into this boat now is unbelievable. Alright, preparation's been endless. So we've got our electrical draw wire. I'm glad we remembered that. And everything's prepared. Let's just work out how we're going to get all the base plates and everything in place. So I've just got a couple of locating screws. Had enough yet? 7 years ago you'd had enough. Alright, that pulpit's in place. I'm going to go in and screw it up from inside. Righto, I've got everything I need. Got my sockets. Right, let's go. Running from one job to the next. arms aren't quite long enough for this. Oh, here we are here with a huge mess of spood. Actually, we'll do the outside ones. I want the outside to sit down tighter. So go outside stern. Got it? Alright, forward one, forward inside. Got it?
Yeah, but not very well.
Oh god, that was an effort, wasn't it?
Wasn't it just?
Oh, bloody hell.
What?
You can spend half a day doing a pulpit.
2 pulpits.
2 pulpits. At least we got 2 done. And the mess. The sycophants, the sycophlex, it's just unreal. It goes everywhere. It's like baby poop. Just goes everywhere. Like ferret poop. Right, the pulpits are on. The next big job for me up here is going to be the forward hatches. I do need to tidy them up. I've got a lot of drainage and stuff to deal with, and the windlass compartment. And then obviously we're going to have to fit all of this with the anchor roller. I'm still waiting on the chain plate from our guy Johnny up in Sydney. He's apparently got them made. Oh, he's getting them together for me. And the pulpits are in, and we've now got to start working on these drains. But they're not urgent. The main urgency is getting all of the lifelines and stuff together so that we've got the ability to have a little bit of safety. Yeah, time to clean up, and we'll go and maybe put in the back ones, the last back handrail. Still got a handrail to do down the back there. It's just getting in the compartments takes forever. You really need about 5 people doing this. You know, just do it in a day. But for Janet and I, it's taken us a few days to get all this together, including the hard top support and everything. But yeah, we're happy to say it's almost done. After 7 years, it's time to start polishing the outside of the boat for the final time until the next time. But all of the extensions, modifications, and bits that I've added, bits that I've taken away, and all the spraying and fairing is finally coming down to this. I'm at 800 grit. I've just done 600 grit, and I'm basically starting to see the real results of my efforts here. Basically, I've done about a quarter of the back of the boat here on this side. I've got a big repair that I did here. You can sort of just see it in the shimmer of the light here, and obviously we're going to work all the way forward at 800 grit, and then I'll do 1200 all over, and then I'll buffer out, you know. So pretty pleased. I've got a tiny little spot to fix there I didn't know I even had, but anyway, I'll sort that out tomorrow. And yeah, it's really looking good. The finish is absolutely top notch, and yeah, looking good. I would say that's about as close as I need to get. I'm done. It's like 7 o'clock, and fairing out that's taken some work to get those extensions absolutely spot on. I haven't even got the random DA on to this with the 1200 yet, so I've got to wet sand this with 1200. I'm going to do it with a machine all the way along, but for now it's hand sanding with 800 all the way along. I'm going to try to get some of these other patches out before I attempt to do a final polish on these hull sides, and then I'll start working on the underside. And in the boat, I've got Janet polishing out my new stuff. Beautiful. So if you think you're bitten off more than you can chew, what do?
Chew harder.
Chew harder. That's been the whole theme of the week, really, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Of the month, of the years. Doing a great job, darling. Oh, that light is just shit. That looks absolutely amazing. Well done, darling. Well done. Shame about the light.